I am disappointed. I think that, looking at Intel's share price, it's pretty obvious that there are some things that could have gone better during Pat Gelsinger's tenure.
Yeah.
But as you probably remember, I was and have been and still am very supportive of his overall vision for Intel, which was to build out a strong fab business alongside their chip selling business in order to maintain competitiveness in process node technology and provide a viable competitor for TSMC at the most advanced nodes. I have just, not because I'm just going to parrot what other people say, but because I don't follow it as closely as some other folks.
Sure.
I did go out of my way to peruse some blog posts from people who have been in the industry a long time and pay pretty close attention. One of my favorites is Charlie D from Semi-Accurate, formerly from The Inquirer. Not that Inquirer, not from the National Enquirer, from The Inquirer, like tech publication from way back in the day. Charlie has a chip on his shoulder, and this is stuff that I would absolutely say to his face. I've met him a number of times. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's a little jaded. He's been around. He's seen a lot, and occasionally he knows he gets stuff wrong, hence the name of his industry blog, Semi-Accurate. Also, it's a joke.
Conductor?
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
He's a good joke. He's a professional writer. Anyway, I popped in to kind of see what he had to say about it, and I was like, okay, at least I'm a little validated here that I'm not completely out to lunch, that my perception of this, and you guys can check him out. Dan, if you don't mind linking Semi-Accurate, just, I'm on it. Charlie
works hard.
He looks like he works hard. Every time I see him, he's got kind of like that hasn't slept look. Yeah. Anyway, it was a little validating to kind of go, okay, yeah, I think we're kind of on the same page here. I felt like Pat Gelsinger didn't get enough time.
I agree. Yeah.
The plan was very clear. The plan was, we're going to build fabs. We're going to fast track multiple process nodes. This is going to be painful.
Yeah.
That was the plan. And then they got to the point where it started to hurt, and they were like, oh, this isn't the plan. Oh, no. To be clear, there could be things that I'm not aware of. I did see rumors that, what is it, 1.8 angstrom or 1.8A, Intel 1.8, whatever it is they're calling their process nodes at this point. I saw a rumor that it's at like 10% yields and is nowhere near commercial viability.
Right.
But they're not planning to ship this thing until sometime next year. And compared to how late they were on things before he came in and started trying to turn things around, I don't know, man. And I obviously haven't, been deep inside Intel lately or much at all. But what I can say is when I visited the fab and the research center, the attitude, like the morale, this was shortly after he took the helm. And I don't mean short, but like a little while after he took the helm. The attitude and the perception of the direction they were going as a company seemed more positive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Intel necessarily has a talent issue. I think they got really skilled people. They've got really, really, really smart people working there. It just seemed like structural issues, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating for me to see a company that made the mistake for so long of not investing enough in R&D and being driven by quarter-to-quarter results, and ultimately not getting anywhere with that anyway. I mean, if you bought $1,000 of Intel shares, like like 10 years ago, you'd have $1,000 today. Like, functionally, it hasn't grown, right? For them to finally get focused on technology, know that the plan was, like, this is what he said from day zero. He was like, this is the plan. And if this is what you want done, I'm your guy. And if what you want done is some other line go up thing, I'm not your guy. So they brought him in, didn't let him execute, and booted him out. I don't know. I think
it's happened before.
I think he should have gotten a longer lead. I think that he should have gotten a longer lead, and if he used it to hang himself, then ultimately that's on him. But I just don't think he got a fair shot.
Yeah. I don't know. I do think there was other missteps,
And like the thing that I think a lot of people, like not manufacturing people, don't understand is that we saw almost nothing in terms of finished released products from Gelsinger's tenure. Almost nothing. The design, the ideation phase
Would have been from before.
is years ahead
Yeah.
of retail. That is just a fact. And so this feels like one of those things where you see this a lot in any kind of leadership, where long-term vision seems to get punished, whereas short-term vision,
Especially publicly traded companies.
seems to get rewarded, and political figures too.
Yeah.
How often do you see someone come in, go, okay, this needs a fundamental change.
Well, they only have like 4 years.
They make the change. They never get to see the fruit of that.
Yeah.
There's some pain. They get voted out. And the next person comes in and is like, look at what a good
Look at all the
job
cool
I'm
stuff
doing.
I did in 3 months, right? I definitely did this in 3 months.
Yeah, 100%. 100% did this in 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll even see this in things like sentiment. You know, they'll conduct polls, you know, literally like after an election has taken place, but before the actual exchange of power has happened, people will be like, yeah, things are so much better. Like, I can't believe how much better things are. And it's like, well, what are you even talking about?
Nothing's happened.
Nothing's actually happened yet. So we didn't get, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We are still at the nothing's happened yet. And, you know, yeah, is Arrow Lake a bit of a dog? Absolutely on desktop.
Yeah.
Is it a dog on laptop? No. Is it it's not great, but it's not a dog on mobile. The power efficiency was a huge step forward. And I don't think we've seen yet what it's going to look like in the data center. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but it was a very efficiency minded architecture.
It's
Also
not grounded. We haven't tested it. I've heard good things though, to be honest.
Okay. Where are we? I saw someone talking about how apparently Dr. Cuttress had some information on the yields, and apparently they're not like 10%. Apparently they're better or something. But guys, you're gonna want to, like I said before, the reason that I went and I kind of checked in with some folks that I know pay way closer attention to like chip fabrication. You're gonna want to go check out Dr. Cuttress. Go check out Charlie's coverage. But what I will say is, from my broad observations, I don't think he got a fair shake, and I think that sucks.
Maybe this, Linus.
Test chip yield.
18A? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So, okay. Remember too, though, like what kind of, because I don't know what a test chip is.
Yeah, me neither.
If test chips are really small, then your yields could be extremely high. But if you're building bigger dies, then they could go lower, and it depends on the complexity of the structures that you're building. So I wouldn't say that's the only data point, but that would seem to indicate that 10% probably ain't it. And what's frustrating is I don't think we're likely to ever hear the complete story. I mean, the good news is that Mr. Gelsinger got a golden parachute. And if there's ever been a time that I've felt like an outgoing CEO who was effectively like canned by the board deserved one, I would say this is one of them. I've never met the guy personally, by the way. I don't have a horse in this race. I don't own any Intel stock. I've talked about how much I like his plan and how I think in the long term, I see the destination at the end of this vision. But now that they've booted him, I have no idea, because in spite of all of the issues that Intel's had, I've had a clear idea of the direction. He's communicated that direction very clearly. Here's what we're going after. We are recognizing that the world cannot survive with a TSMC or and when I say the world cannot survive, hold on, I'm going to come back to us for a second here. The Western world cannot maintain its technology independence with a TSMC monopoly on the latest manufacturing nodes.
Yeah.
Both from a costing perspective, monopoly bad, and also from just a geopolitical perspective, because whether it ever actually happens or not, boy, does China ever do a lot of saber rattling.
Oh yeah.
About.
And I mean, there's a trade war going on right now.
Literally right now.
Yeah.
And so, what I was looking at was a plan for Intel to be an alternative to TSMC.
Yeah. So who is the incoming person? Digibrat in Full Plane Chat said Intel hired a guy from ASML to take over.
Yep.
So who's that?
So I am hoping for the best. I really am. I really am hoping for the best, but I don't know yet. I don't know.
Former ASML CEO Eric Maurice and longtime Microchip CEO Steve Sanghi. One foundry side, one product side. Both brought in to replace Pat.
Okay. Well, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I'm still rooting for Intel. We still need
them there.
We still need two x86 makers, and also we need affordable GPUs. Why don't we talk about the big announcement that got a little bit overshadowed by the ousting of Pat Gelsinger, which was, of course, Intel unveiling their B850, their B580 and B570 GPUs. Battlemage, which first arrived in...
That's board.
Sorry?
Yeah. Sorry, Handyman saying no, that's board. Yeah, it said that they were both brought in to replace Pat Gelsinger's knowledge base, though.
Oh, interesting.
So I didn't mean necessarily his role. I meant him.
I don't think they have a CEO yet, which is also a terrible sign in terms of direction.
Yeah.
When you're just he's gone and there's no plan. I don't know. The optics are terrible.
Doesn't seem great to me.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck, everybody. Yeah. Anyway, B580, 12 gig card coming in at $250, launching in a week. Good gravy. Wink emphatically if the lab is going to be testing this card. You look like you have something in your eye. This is awful.
I don't think I can.
I don't think you have a sexy wink. Oh no, that's pretty good.
But that's not emphatically.
Well, I mean, it depends what you're trying to get done.
How do you wink? What does winking emphatically mean?
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah, but it's got to be yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting the hang of it. Okay.
I feel like I end up closing my other eye too, but hey, we try.
That's okay. No, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about it, not because I've seen any results. I legitimately don't know anything other than what I'm reading on the doc here and what Intel announced, because the lab's doing their thing and I've been busy shooting other videos. But I'm jazzed about it because $250.
Yeah,
Luke,
the price is great.
Do you remember? Can any of you even remember when a 1080/1440p-ish GPU was $250?
The price legitimately feels good.
When it cost the amount of...
Assuming, and this is me saying, not based on anything that we may or may not know, this is me saying purely off of what they have published, the price seems good. A 1440p gaming card... Or, high-end 1080p.
I don't need 1440p Ultra.
Yeah.
You know, if I can play 1440 low to medium or whatever, sure. But
a medium 1440p card for $250?
Luke,
dang, dude.
Do you remember when a GPU cost as much as part of a computer instead of costing as much as the whole computer?
Yeah.
Because it seems like Intel members, and they're bringing it back.
This legit could be really good for mid-tier budget PC gamers, which it feels like they have not been catered to for a long time.
I am jazzed.
There's been the low-end market, which buy used, heck yeah. That was really bad for a while. It's been better lately.
Yep.
Sounds good. High-end market's been catered to really heavily. 4090s a crazy card. 4080s are crazy cards. But yeah, this is potentially, it'll depend on how it comes out of testing. Watch reviews, watch ours, watch other people's, read reviews, read ours, read other people's. But yeah, the price point, very cool. Theoretically, assuming it comes out well.
Anyway, Intel's claiming the B580 has about a 10% lead on the RTX 4060 on average, which is a $299 card with just 8 gigs of VRAM. And that second part is really important as we get deeper into this console generation's life cycle. It has an even bigger lead over AMD's RX 7600, which is also an 8 gig card, but does retail for a closer price of around $259.
Some people in Floatplane chat are saying, remember, that's just MSRP. The early pre-buy listing on Amazon start well over 300. I don't know if those are real.
Yeah, typically you wouldn't see a proper listing from a proper distributor until after the sales embargo. So I wouldn't read too much into that.
Yeah.
Intel is boasting major software improvements, XeSS, so super sampling, including frame generation.
XeSS 2.
As well as Xe low latency, which should help with latency that's introduced through frame generation. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much all that there is to say about Intel, which is a lot for 1 week. So why don't we move on to something else? What do you want to talk about?